everyone and welcome to this short video presentation. My friend Joel Lure and I are going to do a short video based on a theory proposed by Erik Erikson, whom he was a psychologist. Okay, first of all, that particular theory has 8 stages. Okay, the stages are divided into 2 halves. The first 4 stages of that theory will be elaborated by myself, and the second 4 along with the conclusion will be done by my friend. Okay, the theory simply states that the theory of psychological development. Okay, what exactly is that theory all about? Okay, now the theory of psychosocial development is a psychoanalytic theory produced by Erikson. It outlines 8 stages of development that a healthy individual should pass through from infancy to late adulthood. In each stage, a patient confronts, hopefully, masters new challenges. Each stage's successful completion results in the development of a basic virtue or psychological strength that helps them navigate the rest of their lives. Now moving on to the 8 stages of that particular theory. But the first stage was trust versus mistrust. Okay, this stage includes the infancy, the newborn child from 0 ages up to 1.5 years of age. Okay, the first stage focuses on the infant's basic needs being met by their caregivers. Okay, if the care is consistent, predictable, and reliable, the infant develops a sense of trust. A lack of this care leads to mistrust and anxiety. For example, a baby cries because they are hungry. Their parents consistently and promptly feeds them, holds them, and soothes them. This repeated, reliable care helps the baby develop a sense of trust in their caregivers and the world. Conversely, if the baby's cries are frequently ignored and their needs are consistently met, then they may develop a sense of mistrust. The second stage, autonomy versus shame and doubt. Well, these are the early childhoods, 1.5 years of age to 3 years of age. Now, toddlers begin to develop a greater sense of self-control. They learn to make choices and perform basic actions independently, like potty training. Success in this stage leads to the virtue of will, and failure can result in feelings of shame and doubt in their abilities. For example, a toddler insists on dressing themselves, even they put their shirt on backward. Their parents allow them to try and provide gentle guidance, which helps the child feel and sense an autonomy and control. If the parent instead rushes in and does it for them or scolds them for not doing it correctly, the child may feel shame and doubt in their ability to be independent. Now the third stage. But the third stage states that initiatives versus guilty. These are preschools, years of age from 3 to 5. The children in this stage begin to assert power and control over their world through directing play and other social interactions. Successfully navigating this leads to a sense of purpose. If they are criticized or controlled too much, they may develop a sense of guilt. For example, now a child organizes a game of pretend with their friends, assigning roles and leading the play. This demonstrates initiatives and helps them develop a sense of purpose. If the child is instead told their ideas are silly or are discouraged from leading, they may feel guilt about trying to take charge. The final 4 stages of me elaborating on this particular theory is industry versus inferiority. The school age students from years of 5 up to 12. Okay, now the children in this stage starts to learn to cope with new social and academic demands. Success in this stage creates a sense of competence. Failure leads to feeling of inferiority. For example, a student receives a good grade on a science project they worked hard on. Their teacher praises their effort, which reinforces a sense of competence and industry. If the students' efforts are overlooked or they are told that their project is not as good as a peers, they may develop a feeling of inferiority. So that's all from me. Back to my colleague.
To continue on from where my friend has left off, this is the 5th stage of this theory. Each stage identifies versus role confusion, or adolescence from the age of 12 to 18 years of age. In this stage, adolescents explore their independence and develop a sense of self. They ask questions like who I am and what I want to do with my life. A successful resolution leads to the virtue of fidelity or being true to yourself. Failure results in role confusion and a weak sense of self. For example, a teenager experiments with different hobbies, social groups, and part-time jobs. Or, for example, joining the debate club, trying out for the school play. By exploring those options, they are figuring out their values and beliefs, leading to a strong sense of identity. And a teen who struggle to find their place or whose identity is forced upon them by others experience role confusion. Moving on to our 6th stage, which is intimacy versus isolation, or young adulthood from the age of 18 to 40 years. This stage focuses on forming intimate, loving relationships with other people. Success leads to strong relationships and the virtue of love. Failure results in isolation and loneliness. For example, a young adult from a close, committed relationship with a partner, sharing their life and building a future together. This demonstrates intimacy. An individual who struggles to form meaningful relationship and keeps a distance from others may experience isolation and loneliness. Okay, our 7th stage, which is generativity versus stagnation, or middle adulthood from the age of 40 to 65 years. Adults strive to create or nurture things that will to outlast them, often by raising children or contributing to positive changes in their community. This leads to a sense of care. Failure to achieve this leads to stagnation, feeling unproductive in the world. For example, a middle-aged adult volunteers as a mentor for young professionals in their field and finds a great satisfaction in helping the next generation succeed. This feeling of contributing to the well-being of others is an example of generativity. A person who focuses only on their own needs may feel stagnation and a lack of purpose. Moving on to our final stage, which is the 8th stage of this theory. It states ego, integrity versus despair, or maturity from the age of 65 and above. The final stage involves reflecting on life. Some who feel they have led a successful and meaningful life will develop a sense of ego integrity, feeling a sense of satisfaction. Those who look back with regret and bitterness will feel despair. For example, a senior reflects on their life and feels a sense of contentment and pride in their accomplishments and relationships. They accept their life's choices and feels a sense of ego integrity. In contrast, someone who looks back with bitterness over missed opportunities or regrets may feel despair. Moving to our conclusion, the psychosocial theory of development concludes that successful navigation of each of the 8 stages leads to a healthy personality and the acquisition of fundamental virtue. Erikson's theory emphasized that development is a lifelong process, with each stage building up on the last. The resolution to the final stage, ego integrity versus despair, is contingent on how all the preceding crises were handled. Ultimately, the theory posits that a person who has successfully resolved their conflicts at each life stage will be better equipped to face the finality of their life with a sense of fulfillment and wisdom rather than regret and despair. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe and like on our video.